Now, I want to always go back and talk about the myelin sheath, the nerves. A lot of people don't understand the structure. Looking at the top picture here, what I tell people is think of a number 2 pencil, the pencil that you used in school with the lead in the middle and the wood around the outside. So the wood around the outside is the myelin sheath. Inside the lead, that's your nerve, okay? So the myelin sheaths form a spiral-like structure surrounding the axons and are essential for survival of the neurons. Because it plays a key role in maintaining the survival of the nerve cells, damage to the myelin sheath leads to demyelination, demyelinating diseases such as chronic inflammatory demyelinated polyneuropathy. That's a mouthful. Pretty much neuropathy. Polyneuropathy comes from the Greek word poly, which means multiple or many. Poly. Neuropathy is many types of neuropathy. Demyelinization could induce conduction, velocity reduction, action, potential dispersion, and conduction block, and eventually cause axonal nerve death or damage. And what I tell people is when you see the little cracks, like in the middle picture there, we have the disintegration of the myelin. Think of your hose outside, your water hose, and all of a sudden it has cracks in it. And so when you turn the water on, which the water is the nerve signals or pulses that are flowing through the body from the brain to the feet or sensory nerves, everything's a communication network. So whenever the myelin is damaged, then the energy from the wire is leaking out. Now, two things. One is it slows down the synapses or the communication in that nerve path. Number two, it causes inflammation, pain, because it's like it's shocking the tissue out around, okay? And so, and then when we see down at the very bottom the disruption of the axon, then what happens is the nerve dies, and then it's hard to regenerate that nerve. So PMF versus EMF effects on the myelin sheath. In response to higher EMF range in the gigahertz billions, there are advantages of PMF therapy that operate in much lower frequencies that are more therapeutic to the human cell structure. It's been shown that PMF stimulation may enhance the proliferation and migration of subventricular neural stem cells, in other words, regenerating the stem cells, thereby reducing the extent of demyelination and promoting remyelination. Electric fields are not only important for cell surface interactions, but are also pivotal for the normal development of the cell organism and its physiological functions. Now, getting off the beaten path a little bit, when we talk about having cognitive issues, or people who have Alzheimer's, dementia, what's happening is up in the brain, those myelin sheaths and the nerves are becoming damaged, and you've got long-term memory and short-term memory. And just think of your brain as a library, and all of this brain matter has these little packets of information throughout your life called memory. And so whenever you're sitting there, it's like I had one client years ago that was on like a 15-minute loop. And what that meant was he would repeat himself over and over. He would carry on a conversation for 15 minutes, but it was on the same topic, subject matter. And then he would go back to it. If you asked him, you know, if he's watched TV lately, he couldn't really reply to you. It's just, you know, because that short-term memory isn't there. So by using the PEMF system on various frequencies, it's going to enhance microcirculation, which you can look at the blood vessels here in the top picture here, the blood vessel, and we have the myelin sheath that's around the nerve, and then we have the blood flow there. Remember in the videos we've watched and how many times we've talked about the circulation, the plumbing in your body, in your aorta, it's the circumference of a penny or a dime. Whenever you get to the arteries, it's like the circumference of a pencil or a pen, and then the veins are the circumference of the lead inside the pencil. But when you get down to these blood vessels that are attached to these nerve cells and to your organs, that is blood vessels and microcapillaries that are 1/20th the size of a strand of hair. So it's very, very micro, very small. And so if the blood is thick and globbed up with the rouleau effect, because we live a sedentary lifestyle, someone sitting in their chair or their sofa all day long, or if they're in a nursing home, they're sitting there, they don't get a lot of exercise. And so that blood, all it does is it's like a swamp. It just gets thicker and thicker like quicksand, where we're wanting the blood to flow more freely to bring micronutrients, oxygen, energy to those myelin sheaths to help protect those. And you can restore those connections in the brain. Okay, this shows us the Schumann harmonics. We've got the delta wave, the theta wave, the alpha wave, the beta wave, and the gamma wave. Okay, so the Sedona Plus and custom programs allows you to program a special custom called Schumann harmonics, which goes between 7.83 and 31.32. Now, a lot of people call me after the webinars. A lot of people are close to one another and they say, hey, so-and-so's using that special frequency to energize their water and I want that. So if you want to, you can use this to energy. We have the Wellness 10, which we use. That's Fran's favorite, my favorite. It goes from 1 to 1,000 hertz and it feeds all the different cells in that gambit. Also for cognitive and brain focus and getting rid of brain fog, we have the Wellness 8, which is 25 hertz. Then with this one, we have the 7.83 hertz to 31.32. So it's going to go from the theta wave, like top end of theta, which is 4 to 8 hertz. So it's really starting at about alpha wave. So alpha, beta, and gamma, it stops at 31.32. And you can lay back on the mat, put it back behind your head, or either on the top of your head, or either on the pillow on the bottom of your feet, and let that come up through your body. And you can also place your water bottle and charge your water with this frequency too. So that's only if you have the custom program with the Sedona Plus can you program this program. Okay. So once again, we've got several visitors with us that were guests of our Sedona family members. And I've got a Skinar device, which is a Denos device that I offer attendees to the webinar if they decide they want to purchase one of our Sedona system. You can contact me at the 503-395-4142. Please call me. That way I can walk through, answer questions. If you want to ask Franz some questions, I'll give you his phone number or email, and we can do a three-way. We want to make sure that you make an educated decision. Okay, it's not an emotional decision, because this is an investment in your family's health and future, and we want you to make sure you're making the correct decision. All right.